Did you know that the secret to wealth isn't about working harder, but working smarter? Many people are stuck with the idea that to achieve financial freedom, they need to earn more money or have a large initial capital. Robert Kiyosaki, author of the famous book Rich Dad Poor Dad, proves exactly the opposite. He teaches that true wealth comes from the ability to raise capital, invest with financial intelligence, and, most importantly, learn how to adapt to opportunities that arise, even when it seems like there aren't enough resources. But how is this possible? How can we invest without using our own money? The answer is simple, but it requires an abundance mindset, which many people don't have. Throughout this content, you will understand how creativity and financial education can open doors for you to build a fortune, even starting from scratch. Get ready to rethink your approach to money and start seeing the business world in an entirely new way. The abundance mindset and the scarcity mindset are two very different ways of looking at the world. Those with a scarcity mindset often think there isn't enough for everyone, the money is limited, opportunities are few, and because of this, they get trapped in a negative vision. This leads to a constant feeling of lack, which hinders growth and progress. This mindset generates fear of investing, taking risks, or even trying something new. People with this mindset tend to say, "I don't have money for that," or "this isn't for me." On the other hand, those who adopt an abundance mindset believe there is always more to be gained. Money isn't a finite entity, but rather a tool that can be acquired and multiplied. Those who think this way are confident that, with the right strategies, there will always be ways to raise capital and generate more opportunities. If something doesn't work, they don't give up. They ask themselves, "How can I make this happen?" Instead of seeing obstacles, they see challenges to be overcome. Robert Kiyosaki, in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad, teaches us that the secret to financial success lies precisely in having this abundance mindset. He shows us that, instead of saying "I don't have money," we should ask, "How can I raise this money?" He challenges the traditional idea that you need your own money to invest. For Kiyosaki, the secret to success is being creative, bold, and never stopping looking for ways to make money work for you. When you start thinking about how to get rich, it's easy to fall into the temptation of using the money you already have. But, as Robert Kiyosaki always says, only lazy people use their own money. This might sound a little harsh, but it's a powerful lesson. What Kiyosaki means is that when you use your own money, you're simply taking the easier path. Raising capital from other sources, on the other hand, requires more financial intelligence, creativity, and strategy. You need to think outside the box, look for innovative solutions, and learn how to convince others to invest in your project. It's a strategic game, and those who play it skillfully tend to come out victorious. Raising capital also means learning to deal with risks intelligently. Investing your own money may seem safe, but in reality, you're putting everything at risk all at once. By raising money from other sources, you can diversify risks and even increase your chances of success. Of course, this requires an abundance mindset, because you need to believe that there are always resources available and that you're capable of accessing those resources. But in the end, you don't need a large initial capital to start a great business. You need a good idea and the ability to raise the necessary money to put it into action. If you look at the greatest investors and entrepreneurs, you'll see that almost all of them started without their own money. The secret lies in knowing how to create a fundraising strategy and use it intelligently. And that's what separates those who get rich from those who continue depending solely on their own pockets. When you learn to raise capital, you discover a new world of possibilities. And more importantly, you start to understand that success isn't just about what you have, but what you can raise to grow. The difference between the rich dad and the poor dad lies precisely in how they view financial life. The rich dad, for example, would never say he doesn't have money for something. On the contrary, he always asks, "How can I raise money for this?" This solution-oriented mindset is what makes the difference. The rich dad teaches that, instead of accepting limitations, we should seek ways to overcome difficulties. He sees money as a tool that can be mobilized in various ways, as long as you have the financial intelligence to use it strategically. For him, the path is not to work for a salary, but to learn to make money work for you. Meanwhile, the poor dad, with all his formal education and PhD, believes in the security of a steady job and traditional education as the foundation for success. While this may be valid for many people, the poor dad doesn't see beyond his own limitations. He believes the right path is to work hard and wait for a raise or retirement. But, as Kiyosaki teaches us, this type of mindset leads to scarcity. The poor dad is not wrong, but he's stuck in a model that is no longer the most efficient way to achieve financial freedom. He views the world as if only a small part can prosper, which limits his options. The rich dad, on the other hand, believes that true freedom comes from the ability to take calculated risks and invest in the right opportunities. For him, the traditional education system doesn't teach what truly matters: how to make money smartly. That's why he always encouraged Kiyosaki to learn about financial statements, investments, and business strategies from an early age, so he could have total control over his own financial life. This approach makes all the difference for those who want to succeed and escape the scarcity mindset. One of the greatest lessons life can teach us is that, often, the lack of money turns into a unique opportunity to develop creativity and innovation. When you don't have the resources at hand, you need to be more strategic, more resourceful, and, most importantly, more creative. Robert Kiyosaki learned this at a very young age. He recalls that when he didn't have money, his solution was to seek alternatives that could generate the necessary capital. Instead of lamenting over a lack of funds, he asked himself, "How can I raise the money needed for this?" He was forced to think outside the box, and it was exactly this mindset that helped him achieve his first successes in business. A classic example of how he used the lack of resources to his advantage was at the beginning of his career when he bought a low-value property and, instead of paying for it all with his own money, he attracted investors willing to put capital into the idea. With this, he turned a small property into a profitable business without investing a single cent of his own. This proves that, when you don't have enough, the way to success is to raise capital and seek strategic partnerships. You need to be able to identify your idea's strengths and get others involved who share the same vision. Moreover, the process of adapting is also crucial. Not everything will always go as planned, but that doesn't mean the end of the road has arrived. The secret is to adapt to the situation, learn from mistakes, and keep looking for alternatives. Failure is not the end, but an opportunity to learn. Kiyosaki exemplifies this with his experience in the surf wallet market. Even after a major mistake that caused him to lose money, he didn't give up. On the contrary, he adapted to the situation, used his creativity and innovation to change the business strategy, and eventually achieved success. Resilience and the ability to learn from mistakes are essential for anyone who wants to thrive financially. Every entrepreneur will make mistakes along their journey, and that's part of the learning process. The question isn't whether you will make mistakes, but how you handle them. Robert Kiyosaki, for example, had a major setback early in his career when his first surf wallet business didn't work out. He spent a lot of money, bought a large stock of wallets, but no one wanted to buy. This type of mistake can be devastating, but what Kiyosaki did was learn from it and adjust. He didn't give up, nor did he stay stuck lamenting. He understood that failure is not the end of the road, but an opportunity to adjust course and improve the strategy. Another significant mistake he made was when he lent $100,000 to a partner who unscrupulously ran off with the money. This is a classic mistake, and anyone starting out in business should always be aware of the risks involved when dealing with others. But instead of being defeated by it, Kiyosaki used the experience to better understand the risks associated with partnerships and, more importantly, how to protect his assets and finances in the future. Although costly, this mistake was a valuable lesson that helped shape the entrepreneur he would become. What Kiyosaki always emphasizes, however, is that persistence is what makes the difference between temporary failure and lasting success. The path to wealth is rarely a straight line, it's full of ups and downs. However, the key is to understand that mistakes are just temporary obstacles. Each mistake brings a lesson that can be applied in future businesses. That's why he believes that, over time, anyone who has the ability to learn from their mistakes and adapt to circumstances can achieve financial success. One of the most powerful lessons Robert Kiyosaki shares in his teachings is the importance of investing in what you love. Many people invest simply because they think they're doing something smart or because it's a trend, but true financial success comes when you invest in something you're passionate about. For Kiyosaki, he's always invested in businesses and real estate areas he genuinely loves and has a deep understanding of. By investing in what you love, not only does motivation stay high, but you're also more willing to constantly learn, overcome challenges, and adapt to changes in the market. Unlike many investors who seek job security or easy investments with little risk, Kiyosaki points out that true freedom comes when you choose to engage with something that sparks your interest. This doesn't mean it's always easy, but when you have an emotional connection to your investment, it can drive far more persistence than any immediate financial return. Of course, he always warns that investing must be done smartly, with strategy, but the fact that you love what you're doing makes a huge difference. Passion for what you do can be the fuel you need to endure the highs and lows of business. The concept of Shark Tank can also be applied here. For Kiyosaki, seeking new business opportunities is like a game, where he's always looking for something new, interesting, and innovative. This entrepreneurial game, as challenging as it may be, is far more rewarding when you're investing in something you truly love. Not only does this make the process more enjoyable, but it also helps you stand out because when you dedicate yourself to something with passion, others are drawn to your vision as well. So, when looking for opportunities, always seek those that make your heart race. One of Robert Kiyosaki's harshest criticisms of the traditional educational system is its lack of financial education. Schools teach many important things, like math, science, and history, but they rarely address practical skills that truly impact our financial lives. Few are taught to understand financial statements, the difference between an asset and a liability, or how to manage risks and investments. This educational gap leaves many people ill-prepared to handle financial matters in everyday life, and throughout their lives, they end up falling into financial traps due to lack of knowledge. This is one of the reasons why so many people end up with a scarcity mindset, believing there isn't enough money or that they'll always have to work a steady job to guarantee their survival. For Kiyosaki, this is a huge mistake. He believes that true financial intelligence comes from learning how money works, how to raise capital, and how to make your money work for you. If schools taught these skills, more people would have the mindset necessary to innovate and become entrepreneurs. And it's not just about understanding complex financial concepts, it's about developing a mindset geared toward abundance, where you see growth opportunities even when it seems like options are limited. What he advocates is that, instead of teaching people just to work to earn money, schools should teach how to make money work for you. Unfortunately, the traditional educational system is far more focused on preparing people for stable jobs than for building businesses and wealth. This causes many to become stuck in the mindset of job security with a limited view of the strategies needed to thrive. If you stop to think about it, many of the most financially successful people didn't follow the traditional path of a college degree or a corporate career. They knew how to seek the right financial education, develop their adaptability skills, and find new ways to invest in what truly mattered to them. Creativity is one of the most underrated skills when it comes to financial intelligence. Many people think that to get rich you need a large amount of money or specialized technical knowledge, but the truth is that the key to success lies in how you use your creativity. When you lack resources, the most important tool you can use is creativity. You have to think about ways to raise capital, solve problems innovatively, and find unconventional paths to success. It's this kind of creativity that separates the rich from the poor. The ability to see beyond the obvious, to find opportunities in places where others see obstacles, is what makes true entrepreneurs stand out. A great example of this creativity is Kiyosaki's own story, where he always found innovative ways to raise money for his business ventures. Even when he didn't have the money to invest, he managed to convince others to believe in his ideas and support him. Through this, he demonstrated that creativity, coupled with financial intelligence, can transform seemingly impossible situations into profitable opportunities. The lesson here is simple: when you learn how to use your creativity to solve problems, you'll find that there are always ways to achieve success. Even when things seem scarce, your creative power can open doors to new opportunities. Kiyosaki's main teaching is that it's not about working harder, but working smarter. That's the true secret to wealth: to stop seeing money as a scarce resource and start seeing it as a tool that can be raised, multiplied, and used creatively to bring more abundance into your life. The abundance mindset, combined with creativity, financial intelligence, and adaptability, is what creates the foundation for true wealth.